So if you look at the gross observation across industry segment, in each of these industries the players can be different, the ingredients could be different, but the core flavor seems to be the same. IT is evolving. Visible trends out there. I had the privilege of working with one of the key players in IT in India, as well as one of the largest or the well understood player in the global market. IBM is a company that I admire. I characterize IBM as a company with a full range of capability, as a company culturally best in collaboration. I've never seen deals which go through trouble, okay, especially when there is a multi-vendor situation or things like that, as much as it could go in an Indian context. They are best in collaboration. They're very good and have understood the game of the multi-vendor option. So they understand truly in the concept of collaboration. So a couple of the observations which I have documented here and in the next couple of slides is my observation of the world's best player in this space and the world's leading player in the Indian IT context. The visible trend one is today's project management is pretty much based on the triple constraint. So everybody is trying to manage a project within the triple constraint. The future is a client-centric project management. The project management activities will go beyond the regular scheme of definition of project management work, because you do not have much of an option but to ensure high degree of business alignment, high degree of benefits for your customer, high degree of satisfaction for your customer organization. So this client-centric project management will outpace the triple constraint, while the triple constraints will continue to be the base requirement. The client centricity will outpace this whole thing. Look at it from some of the specific dimensions. Let's take the first dimension, the stakeholder dimension. In the current definition of IT, predominantly stakeholders are inward. When I say inward, the stakeholders are pretty much the project related teams involved in resourcing the project, the monitoring teams locally, and the leadership team internally. So this is pretty much the scope of the current IT projects in terms of the type of stakeholders that they deal with. If you look at what is evolving, the visible trend out there, it is shifting from an inward focus to an outward focus. So there's going to be a combination of managing stakeholders inside as well as stakeholders outside. So let's look at who could be possible stakeholders in this particular context. If you look at upward, there is a board that you are answerable to. There's a sponsorship team, process owners. If you look at the external world, you have the customer, the stakeholder, the government and regulatory bodies. If you look at inward, you have the resource providers, typical resource providers, okay, starting from seat, with the new project coming in, starting from seat, the fight begins internally. So you need seat, you need HR staffing, you need line managers support, you need a whole lot of interactions with the internal stakeholders in the organization. At a program level, it could be a program leadership team, specific project teams, support teams as different entities. So if you look at the whole game of the type of stakeholders that you deal with, first of all, there is a combination of focus, which is the stakeholders are not completely within the organization but also external to the organization. There's a fair balance between people inside and external in terms of the number of stakeholders that you have to deal with. Let's look at the second dimension, the outcome. So we said a couple of minutes back that the requirements is something that has to be frozen, and once the requirements are frozen, pretty much the rest of the things are within the control of the organization that you represent. The outcome in the evolving IT scenario will be much aligned to the business strategy. So the projects will have to do a lot more of the benefits management. You need to understand the client's business strategy. You need to align what you do to be able to derive or show performance or value in the context of what the client believes as a benefit. That is where the IT world seems to be heading. The business side of business and the technology side of the business are going to be closely integrated. So if you look at the clear shift, while today's IT requirements were dictated by what we call the decibel and the density law. Decibel is somebody who can yell loudly, so if I yell loudly, then my project has to get attended. Density principle is that if I can throw more weight, then my project needs attention. So this approach is very different than the approach of trying to understand the business side of business and the technology side of the business and trying to marry both of them together to achieve a business outcome or to align to a business strategy. So the outcomes are far too different in the current context and the evolving context. Let's take a third dimension, that of change. Change has to be pretty much controlled in the current systems. In the current IT scenario, the change has to be pretty much controlled. A lot of efforts to ensure that can we avoid change, can we manage change very carefully is where the focus lies. But in the new evolving model, where you're trying to focus around the business benefits for a customer, where you're trying to focus on creating more value to the customer, ensuring that you exceed customer satisfaction, dealing with change is going to become inevitable. That's why you see that there is a lot of focus today around this whole concept of agile, dealing with the agile approaches. Because it's going to become inevitable in the future that you be able to deal with change seamlessly as you work with the IT projects. The definition of success is very different. The definition of success was earlier meeting requirements under the triple constraints. So as long as you were pretty much within the context of the requirements, or you could achieve the requirements within the said time, within the said cost and quality, your project was seen to be successful. In the evolving world, alignment of the project's outcome to the business mission is going to be critical. Alignment of the project outcome or your ability to show ROI, define ROI and show them is going to be more critical. Managing cash flows or being able to keep the cash flow situation better is definitely a requirement of the projects, the IT projects that you're going to run. So if you look at the column 2, that is assets, and the column 3, which is evolving, you will see that fundamentally there is a huge shift that we are actually moving towards. Now the shift is basically because of the nature in which the IT organizations evolved in the Indian context, whereas the same IT organizations evolved in the global context very differently. I just remember my early days at one of the IT organizations around the 1998. Between 95 and 98, there was quite a bit of a difference in the way the IT shops were looking at themselves. The 95s was more predominantly dominated by body shopping as a concept. So as long as I had a good resource in some particular technology, I could provide X number of resources or bodies for a particular technology. That was typically the context in the year about around the 1995. That's pretty much what the context was. The context for IT evolved in 98-2000 to something slightly different. So the whole concept of a project actually, in my mind, came into existence only around the 98 or the 2000. This typically the Y2K problem scenario is when projects as such got defined and started getting executed. Before which, Indian context was pretty much with the body shopping culture. Now, as every Indian IT industry started talking about this whole concept of moving from level 1 to level 2, moving up the value chain, essentially what the IT organizations within the country were trying to achieve was that the IT organizations were trying to move from a body shopping culture, move into something which was consultative in nature. If I just look at around the same time of the Y2K problems and when projects got essentially defined in the Indian context, my observation at the same time of the global context was that they, be it Arthur Andersen or be it IBM, they were seen more as the consulting shops in the IT scenario. So between the 98s and the current date, what happened is that the IT industries seem to be moving in the Indian context, trying to move up the value chain, trying to be seen as consultants, trying to be seen as value providers, trying to be seen as partners in the business strategy of a client organization. The question still remains, how many Indian IT projects are able to manage the budget of the client organization? How many organizations are more considered, Indian organizations are considered in partner mode? How many Indian organizations are considered, IT organizations are considered to be participating in the business strategy of a client organization? So that's the evolution, that's where we seem to be heading. So if this is where we seem to be heading, the imperatives are going to be extremely different. Now this change is not necessarily for the global IT scenario. It pretty much makes sense even in large scale government-based projects in the current Indian context. The case in hand is the India Post or the Department of Post. There was an interesting article published in the Sunday Story, Hindu, which was yesterday's Hindu, on the Indian Posts. The storyline defined that this is a turnaround initiative for the Department of Post. The initiative is going to focus on technology, modernization and diversification. So what the Indian Postal Department realized is that it is in red and there is a need or a severe need for a turnaround situation at this point in time. If you just read through the specs of what is trying to be achieved, if you read through the details of that particular article, I just went through certain final aspects. Change is there in multiple dimensions. A couple of changes that I have recorded here. There is a need for a change in the financial model. They want to relook at the financial model to lower the operational cost. They want to use a completely different approach, which is the franchisee-based outlets, to cover a much larger physical or geographical area. They want to modernize the look and feel to meet the requirements of the current generation, to meet or increase the CSAT and ESAT experiences, to beat up competition from the courier agencies and the telecom service providers. Their core bread and butter is the mail operations. Today, their mail operations seems to be requiring a streamlining all over again. Now, if you look at, interestingly, the Pan-India network has to be established to support future applications. These networks are to be established to enhance accountability, enhance productivity, and support future applications. Their interest is also to computerize all departmental post offices to enable electronic networking of the extra departmental post offices. A quick observation on the data point below. We're talking about 1,55,000 post offices in the country, of which only about 16,000 is located in the urban area. And this is quite a big number. A big number or a big chunk of what you are seeing a very small number is in the urban side, whereas the bigger number is in the rural area. Now this brings in its own set of complexities. If you look at, we're talking about close to 1.3 lakhs of entities, post offices to be covered across the country in the different rural areas. They bring in their own complexities of culture, they bring in their own complexities of language, ability to relate to computers. So if I just look at one dimension of training in this whole thing, which is the end user training, enabling the end users of this particular project, enabling the different postal staff in the different post offices across the country, that itself is a mammoth task. We are talking about projects of this nature in the IT context. Now it's not only in the postal context, fiscal policy of the government, huge projects require better transparency, require better accountability, require increase in productivity. Projects on power, projects on real estate documentation. So a lot of these things seem to be going pretty much in the same path of adopting technology modernization techniques to be able to increase productivity and pretty much a couple of other things that they want to achieve. So if you look at the complexities that emerge from something of this nature, just take an assessment, go back and look at the stakeholder, who probably are the stakeholders of this particular situation. What probably is the outcome of this particular engagement? Can change be completely avoided, or can change be minimized? How do you think the success of this sort of a project will be measured? You will see that what we discussed in the column evolving, the pattern of that nature will become visible in a project of this size and complexity.